guys, we're back with the last spicy hot take for stage 4 for the day. Pleased to introduce Perry, CEO of Penguin Strategies, who is going to be going over attribution isn't broken, it's just misunderstood. Perry, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks. Happy to be here, and shalom. So, like you said, I'm Perry. I am the co-founder and CEO of Penguin Strategies. We basically a growth agency. We help tech companies, primarily tech companies that are focused on medium to large enterprises, scale. Two sides of the business. One is very heavily invested in RevOps, a group of engineers and business analysts and developers helping companies build their systems. Touch on that a little bit. And then a group of strategists, designers, content people on the agency side helping companies figure out how to grow from a digital marketing perspective. And we're going to touch on that. It's a lot to go get through in the next 10 minutes. But here we go. A couple of interesting facts about me. I've been in tech in and around startups, mostly in Israel, although I grew up in Canada. So that's kind of where the accent's from. Those of you who can't place it. I moved to Israel when I was 16, did the mandatory stint in the army. And then since I've been in tech since I've been 21 until now, and that's just almost 30 years, so you can do the math. I've done tech jobs. I started as a developer and product, but in the last 15 years, I've been mostly focused on sales and marketing. In my last job before starting Penguin, I was the head of a business development and marketing and traveled almost 30,000 kilometers in a single week, as I had speaking engagements in Hong Kong, Australia, Singapore, and Thailand all in the same week.
For those in the U.S., a little back of the napkin math, 18,500 miles.
Yeah, so it's more impressive in kilometers.
It is, but I had to.
No, that's true. And the other interesting fact I thought I would mention is when I got here, when I was 16, 1989, 1990, there wasn't a baseball league in Israel. So I was part of that a group of people that helped bring the first baseball league to Israel. That was pretty cool. But that's not what this talk is about, although it's probably just as interesting. A few months ago, we had a RevOps meetup, a mini event, if you will, in person in Tel Aviv. And we did the regular, promote on LinkedIn. I'm sure a lot of you are here because of different promotions that different teams did. The speakers, we had the speakers promote. We did a lot of different things. And when I looked at the report before we went live, and we ended up having about 100 attendees, which is pretty cool considering we had about 100. Even though the report is a little skewed, but we had about 150 signups. But what interested me is that half of the people there, according to Attribution, came from direct traffic, which basically means I always say it's an attribution software way of saying I have no idea, although it's supposed to mean that they put in your website. Organic social, yeah, I got it. LinkedIn post and the red email, yeah, we sent up some emails, but I really wanted to dig into that. And so as the beginning of the event, I started asking questions about how people had heard about the event, and I found that over 50% of the people had actually heard it through what we would call dark social means, right? They had got a WhatsApp from a friend or in a WhatsApp group or in a Slack channel or in a Facebook group or different things that really didn't come through the attribution software. And it proves something that I think we all have been seeing over the years, and is that attribution software is not giving us the whole picture. It's doesn't mean that we need to go and throw it out tomorrow, but it does mean that we need to start thinking a little bit differently about growth. How do we measure growth? How do we attain growth? And one of the things our strategy team likes to do is to try to come up with new hypotheses, new new frameworks to figure and hack the system of growth, because what worked 10 years ago, write blogs, write white papers, put landing pages, and they will come, is just not taking us to the places we need to get anymore. We need to do more. You mentioned before, I kind of glossed through it. Yes, I was at Inbound a few weeks ago, and I think the main message that came out of there were a lot of important messages that came out, and features and things like that from HubSpot's perspective. But the main message that I think that really aligns with what I mentioned before is that the way we connect is broken or is changed. I think that's without going and calling it too big of it, it's a crisis of disconnection. And there's a number of levels to it. The first one being that we have so many systems that we've put together over the last 3, 4, 5 years. There's so many applications, so much MarTech out there, sales tech, RevOps, that they're helping us become more efficient, but they're really messing up our system. So those of us who deal with the IT piece of sales and marketing ops are having a hard time making sure that everything gets connected. And there's a lot of work that needs to get done. They talked a little bit about the people, how people have been disconnected because we've been sitting at home, just like I am right now, and having the lack of meeting up with people. And of course, where I'm going to talk a little bit more about is customers. How do we engage with customers, with potential customer, with prospects, in a way, in a more meaningful way, in a way that we can drive more growth and provide more value.